because this is the hardcover edition. I've actually read the Czech paperback edition, but at the time I really wanted to own the hardcover editions, as all the booktubers at the time had them, and I wanted to be really cool, and I actually kind of regret buying these because they just take up space on my shelf now, and I will not reread them. I also have Chord of Mist and Fury. Now, I loved this book at the time, but I don't want to just keep this book and get rid of all the other ones. I have also Chord of Wings and Ruin, and I think this was the last book that I've read by Sarah J. Maas at the time, and I used to be like a huge Sarah J. Maas fan, and then I read this book, and I went from being a huge fan to almost a Sarah J. Maas hater, really. I hated this book so much when I read it. I don't know what it was, just the characters, the setting, how creepy some of the characters are, and the treatment of minorities, and no, just no. And the ending was, well, underwhelming to say the least. And I know that there are more books in the series now. There's no way I'm reading them. Like, if you would pay me $1 million, I would consider it, but other than that, no. Because this was so traumatic for me that I made a deal that I'm never reading a Sarah J. Maas book ever again. So even like her recent stuff, just, I'm not interested. And I know she's so popular on TikTok these days, but no. Then I have the hardcovers of some Throne of Glass books. I got also these because I wanted to look cool when they first came out, and I actually kind of regret buying these because I haven't read these editions, and now they just sit on my shelf, and they have been sitting on my shelf for years now, and I don't feel like rereading them, so I'll be giving them a new life, you know. I actually like this series more. This is the prequel, the Assassins. You can see it probably. Plate. This is the prequel. I don't have Throne of Glass. I have the second book, Crown of Midnight, that I'll be also getting rid of. You know, I'm giving them a new life. Hopefully they'll find a home where they will be loved more, you know. I actually still like the series. I've read the series. I haven't only read the last book, Air of Fire. I don't have Queen of Shadows. How many books are there in the series? I also have Empire of Storms, which I think is the 7th book. And, you know, like, I'm pretty sure that it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then there were just more books and more books and more books, and the main character became so unlikable to me over time, and she became quite annoying as well. So these were so expensive at the time. Like, when I bought them, it was quite hard to get English books where I live, and hardcovers were so expensive, and just thinking about it makes me sad. So hopefully they will find a new owner now that will enjoy them. There's really no point for me to keep these on my shelves, you know. Okay, next. Some of these are like double copies. They're not in order. Okay, I have Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard here. I've read this edition. You can kind of see that it looks a little beat up. I was so excited when the Red Queen series came out. I also have like the Czech editions here that I'll be getting rid of as well. And I was so excited that I had to read the second book in English, and then I read the third book and I hated it. Like, same thing with like Sarah J. Maas's books. Hated the third book, haven't finished even the last book. I didn't even pick it up, so yeah, Glass Horde. Paperback. Okay. Next. Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I actually haven't read Lady Midnight yet. I just have double copies of Lady Midnight, so I'll be getting rid of this one. This is this huge paperback, and I'm getting rid of this mainly because I don't have space on my shelves for more of her books, and there's really no point for me to have like double editions of her books, you know. But I haven't read Lady Midnight yet. I haven't read any of her new books. I think I've read The Infernal Devices last, and then I just didn't really pick up anything else by her since then. And I want to get back to her books. I don't know, for some reason I wasn't in the mood for them. So yeah, I'm going by these like super quickly. Yeah, anyways, next book. This is the Czech edition of Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This book is so popular on Instagram and TikTok. I don't understand why. It's a magical realism about a cafe where you can go back in time, and you can also travel to the future, which literally made zero sense in terms of like the roles that you had and all that. Zero sense. I'm being kind of negative now, really. I hated the book so much. It was like my worst book of 2021 that I've read in 2021. Just the overall treatment of women and the repetition of the roles, and it started to be really predictable, and the characters were just so overly dramatic. And originally this was supposed to be a play, and if this was a play it would be so much better because it would make sense. But these characters were just like crazy. They were just acting crazy for no reason, and they were quite unreasonable as well. Hated Before the Coffee Gets Cold. And the original English cover has, well, not the original was published in Japanese, but the English cover has like a cute cat on the cover, which is the only redeemable quality of the book. This edition doesn't have the cat, but it's okay. I would hate the book even if it would have a cat on the cover, so yeah. Next, I have a double edition, or like a double copy of this, which is why I'm getting rid of this. This is an I Darken Czech Edition by Kirsten White. This, I actually really want to read this. I just have 2 copies of this, so there's no point for me to be keeping these. And it's about Vlad the Impaler, who inspired Dracula, but with the genders reversed. And I want to get to reading it. I have double copies. There's no point for me to keep this copy. I was actually like given a copy, and I bought it myself. And yeah, it's just, I actually have them like right there somewhere. The whole series that I haven't even started yet. So I'll be getting rid of these as well. a girl with magical powers that's fighting the system. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about it. Okay, next book. Very, very popular book on Instagram and TikTok. Careful by Stephanie Garber. I have the Czech edition. It was okay. I actually listened to the second and third book as an audiobook, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. The romance is absolutely atrocious, especially like it's okay in the first book, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. The characters, both of them are quite stupid. They're always focusing on like the most ridiculous things instead of the actual problem at hand, and they're sidetracking a lot. And this sounds like I hate the series. I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. And by the way, it's about a magical carnival that travels throughout the land. This is a high fantasy, which means that it's set in a magical world, and I don't think that really made sense. I think it should have been magical realism. That would have been better. Kind of like Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. And I've had a fun time reading it. It was fun, but it wasn't anything like breathtaking, and I just want to make space on my shelf, so I'll be getting rid of this as well. Alright, next. I've got the Chord of Wings and Ruin, the paperback edition. This is the edition I've actually read. Just even looking at this book makes me angry now. And by the way, these editions, the previous covers, are so much better than like the new adult versions that, because it was rebranded, right? The series was rebranded because it has more explicit content, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but putting more explicit scenes into a book doesn't make it new adult or adult. I actually know what's happening in the series later on, and no, just no. And why does every female character have to be paired with someone that could pretty much lead an alpha male podcast? I don't get it. Like, let the characters just be themselves for a bit. That's what's happening in the other books. I don't know, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of like the alpha male archetype in books. It's just no. You can see I'm being really salty about this book. If you love this book, that's totally fine. I just hate it. Okay, next. This is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Arbitali. I read this last year, and it was okay, but it wasn't anything like spectacular either. You can kind of see that it was a woman writing a male gay character, and there were some issues that were brought up in the book that were just completely glossed over. Like, they were there in one chapter and that was it, and I just expected more. Like, this book was so popular when it first came out that I thought there's going to be something spectacular, and it really wasn't. I read it recently though, so maybe that's why. Like, if I would read it in 2015, I would like it, but not today. Definitely not today. Okay, we've got a few more. Actually, I don't know if all of these will fit into that box that I have, but we'll see. We'll try. This is The House of Night. I don't even know what it's called in English. Hidden. This is the 10th book in a series. I also have the 9th book here. I used to love this series when I was 14, and then I actually don't have any more copies. I don't know where the rest of the copies are. They're gone. And very recently I watched a video when someone read the first book and how awful the main character was, and judgmental and racist, and she had so many prejudices that weren't based on anything. She was just so annoying, and I can't believe that I liked the main character when I was 14. Like, no. And I know that I will not be reading the series, but I know I will not be continuing. I remember nothing from it except a few atrocious scenes when, like, no spoilers, I will not tell you, but there was like this character from a marginalized group that was killed in a very interesting way. Not even interesting, it was just straight up awful and ridiculous. It was ridiculous, that's the right word. So I'm getting rid of these. Yeah, and by the way, these are written by BC Cast and Kristen Cast, which is like a mother-daughter duo. I'm wondering, like, where was the mother in this when she was writing these? I'm kind of assuming that the mother wrote them and then the daughter edited them, like, a little bit. No, it was just, no, like, this series. And at the time I was so interested in vampires. Like, this book is about vampires, and looking back now, I don't know, like, why, but that was the Twilight craze for you. Last books that I have here. This is the 5th and 6th book in the series. I think in English it's called something like Succubus, or yeah. I don't even know. It doesn't say here. They're written by Rachel Mead. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have the English title here. Who also wrote The Vampire Academy, and objectively speaking, The Vampire Academy was much better. This is a book about a succubus, who was a woman that was getting energy through explicit acts with men, and she could also change her appearance. And I've read these when I was like 13. I should not have been reading those when I was 13. Like, no, because it has a lot of explicit content, which was actually the reason why I was reading them when I was 13. I should not have been reading these. I don't even have the rest of the copies. I think I was in the middle of the 5th book. Then I've lost interest. I also had the 6th book that I know that I will not be getting into anytime soon. Possibly never. So I will not keep these. I have no idea where like the copies of like the first 4 books are. They're lost forever. Yeah, so there's no point for me to have these on my shelf when there are other people who could enjoy them. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Now, I feel like I've roasted some of these books quite a lot, but just keep in mind, like, some of these books I've liked at the time, some I dislike, but I know that other people would enjoy them more than me, so that's why I'm getting rid of these. I'm giving these books a new life, really. So, yeah, just, that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know if you like me being like really negative in ASMR videos. Sometimes it's kind of good to have a balance, you know. But yeah, just let me know. I don't know when I'm going to do my next unhaul. Maybe soon now, because it feels kind of liberating to finally make a space on my shelves